the WooPlayer Q&A weekly webinar call. We're going to get started here in just a minute, but before we do, if you could please confirm that you can hear my voice as well as see my screen, which should say WooPlayer Q&A on it, and then we can get started. Thank you. Some confirmations that both audio and video are good, so we can get started. My name is Peter. I'll be hosting this call. I'm WooPlayer's product manager, and we're holding these sessions in order to answer any questions that you as users may have or provide training on any advanced use cases of video in your business, as well as to showcase new stuff that we've been working on so you can continue to get more value out of WooPlayer. Also to gather any feedback or criticism or constructive ideas on how we can make WooPlayer even better. Format of the webinar is pretty straightforward. At any time that you have a question, just feel free to drop it here in the chat box, and then we can start answering them in the order that they come in. If you came prepared with any questions, now would be a good time to type them out. If you are not able to attend one of these webinars, you are welcome to check out the replays, which are posted on our YouTube channel as well as in our Facebook group. So I think that's all with regards to housekeeping. I'll throw one more thing in there. I keep forgetting to mention on some of these webinar calls. So if at any time you're not able to provide constructive criticism or feedback, you're always welcome to come in the application. You can just come over here on this little help icon and click on submit and vote on ideas, so that way you can see the latest and greatest about WooPlayer that we're working on, as well as to vote on existing ideas, as well as to submit new ideas. So I'll just share this link with you as well. And I think you can also access that publicly at portal product board WooPlayer. So those are also some additional resources for contributing to WooPlayer and being part of the WooPlayer community. So I'll just throw that in there as well as part of the introduction moving forward. All right, cool. Updates. So we've been pretty much working on the Chrome extension exclusively for a while now. So just a refresher / introduction for those who haven't been joining webinar calls recently. We are developing a Chrome extension. This is it without the makeup, which will allow you basically to access all of your WooPlayer videos without the need to go to the WooPlayer application. So if you're on Facebook and you just want to share one of your videos, or if you're in WordPress and you want to grab the embed code for one of your videos, you're going to be able to quickly find them in here and grab the one you need. I don't know. Say take this one, and from there you can grab the links for the embed code for it, etc., etc., etc. So that's one part of the plugin, which is we think going to make the workflow of publishing and accessing and managing your videos a lot easier. So that's one part of the plugin, and the other part of the plugin is it's going to give you the ability to record your screen, your camera, and your microphone to create a new WooPlayer video, and then thus immediately get a WooPlayer video created by recording your screen and your camera, etc. Which again is gonna, we believe, improve the workflow on the end of creating your videos, since a lot of WooPlayer users are focused on creating videos which are some sort of a tutorial or some sort of a presentation. A lot of them are originating from the users' screens and cameras. We felt it's appropriate for us to try and be on that end of the workflow as well. So we're going to be supporting as mentioned, recording of the screen and camera, etc. So that's one thing that we're currently focused on, aside from small improvements and bug resolutions. So just wanted to make you aware of that. With regards to the timeline, we are pretty confident that we have the core functionality that we want implemented. What's left is more or less sort of the makeup and some added enhanced functionality, like camera positioning, where you want it to show up on the screen and stuff like that. So I do expect within the next couple of releases, so as you may know, we have week releases in WooPlayer. Within the next couple of releases, probably there's going to be an initial version of this available for whoever wants to beta test it. We're going to appreciate feedback, certainly, on how we can continue improving this Chrome extension that we're working on. That's it for the updates. As mentioned, we've been really focused on that. It's turning out to be a rather useful tool in our workflows as well. So I'm pretty sure that you're going to have a lot of use cases for it. So Chrome extension update. That's all I really had to discuss with regards to what's new and upcoming in WooPlayer. So now we can get to questions. William has a question. Beside custom logos, can there be an option to add custom backgrounds as themes saving for the watch room? So if I'm getting William correct, so if by watch room you mean the watch page, just open one just so we are on the same page, so to speak. So I'm assuming this is the watch room. So basically you would like to provide a custom background where the black screen currently is, if I understood that correctly. If you can confirm that, William, I see no reason why we wouldn't support something like that. That's definitely an easy add, and it provides more ability, I think, to customizing the. We can give you sort of a background customization where you can choose the color you want, or select an image that you want to appear as a background. So that's definitely something that we can provide. The body of the page, you mean? You were talking about the white part below the video. That's interesting. We can do both. We can do the header, which is in black, and we can also do the bottom part, which is in white as backgrounds. Not necessarily sure that I understand sort of what the use case would be for customizing the background below the video, but yeah, we can do both. Let me just note that as a feedback point, so that I don't forget. Alex is asking, did you recently change anything in performance optimization feature? It might be causing last problem I've had. You'll see an email from me following last performance issues. Can't recall what the email is. I would prefer not to open up the support channel on the webinar call, but maybe you can describe what the issue you're facing is. No recent changes in the last couple of months, 2 or 3 months, to the performance optimization. So if anything changed on that end, it's probably not due to us. Sometimes platform updates or plugin updates can cause conflicts with that performance optimization embed code. But if you can describe your issue, maybe we can get to the bottom of it. William is saying the body of the page. All right, body of the page customization sounds great for branding. Body of the page, really, another one for that. I'm really not understanding the use case here. So like a lot of people are using the watch page sort of for sharing their video, and that makes sense. But why would you want to customize the body of the page? I always sort of seen it as sort of like a leftover that's not utilized for anybody. I assume that a lot of people that want to customize this also have some custom content. Let me do that. Let me get some custom content on this page just so maybe I can understand this a little bit better. So if I come over here to the video page customization, and I add some custom content, let's do it like that, and enable, where's the Facebook comments? Let's enable Facebook comments as well, and publish that. Just see how that's going to look like. All right, I see what you mean. So you would want this to be customized. All right. Yeah, I see the potential for that. Definitely something we can add. All right. Alex is saying, open question for people attending the webinar. I'd like to check on other websites with full player videos on is how can we exchange this information, some links anyone wants to share. If anybody wants to share any links, you're welcome to do it in the chat box, or if you want, you can share them in the Facebook group. Probably the Facebook group would be the most would be the best place to exchange that type of information, just because it's going to remain permanent there as a post rather than as temporary on the webinar chat. So I want to do that on the Facebook group would probably be best. If you haven't joined the Facebook group, I don't know if I posted a link for that. Yeah, there's a link up at the top, facebook.com/groups/fullplayer is where you can get that invite. All right, cool. Any other questions? Take a couple of minutes just for if anybody has another questions. Dudley has a question. Do I have the correct version? My desk does not look like yours. What does your desk look like? Desk, you probably mean your dashboard. So this is what the fullplayer dashboard looks like. And if you come over here on the left-hand side, where it says documentation and support, you will see that the most recent version of fullplayer, which was released earlier today, is 4.1.92. The dashboard can sometimes look a little bit different. So, for example, if I'm on a smaller screen, it can collapse to have the what was previously the sidebar be below the video. So if you are on a smaller resolution, it might look a little bit different for you. But if it looks anything close to that, then you're probably in the same version, just have a different screen size and fullplayer adapted to it. The control section is under the display. The control section, yeah. So if you're talking about the control section, which I have over here on the right hand side, if you have it under the display, so that's also probably something like this, maybe. If you are on a smaller screen, so I don't know what I'm at here. So that's about, I don't know, 1400. Let's see. I think 14, maybe 1500 is the size I'm at right here. Let's just give it a quick look. So I'm at 1300 here, and I'm still have it under on side by side. So if I go, I think below 1280, yeah, if I go below 1280, then it's going to collapse below. So you're able to I think even control that if you want to by zooming in and out, maybe. I'm not sure if that's going to work. Yeah, it's probably not going to work. Yeah, so if you are on a screen which is below 1280, which would be really surprising for a modern laptop or a desktop even, but if you are, then screen will be collapsed or stacked one under the other. Alex is asking, since you don't have a review page for videos, I'm thinking of using the watch page for that purpose. Can I delete comments after they've been published? Well, that's really a two-part question. So the first part is we don't have a review page for videos. So by review page, are you talking about something like for internal feedback, where you create a video and then you want to ask somebody for the feedback about that video, and then you can talk about it, and then you can sort of timestamp points in that video, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. If that's the case, that's a different conversation. And that's one of the things that we originally wanted to do with the watch page, but we didn't get much call for that. So that's a feedback point right there. But with regards to can you delete comments after they've been published, the answer to that is no. I believe there's no way to delete Facebook comments which are posted on a link. So no on deleting the comments. Dean has a question. How can we get more folks to attend this webinar? I did post on the Facebook group, but no comments. I feel that this weekly webinar is great, but folks don't know about it or they'd come. That's my bad. I keep intending to throw a notification inside of the intercom widget in Vul Player every Tuesday before the webinar, like, hey, there's an upcoming webinar in a couple of hours, or in whatever, tomorrow there's a webinar, et cetera, et cetera. So I keep meaning to do that, and I just never get around to it. So thanks for the reminder there, Dean. Sure, I'll get to it at one point. I like our small group. I don't want I don't want everybody in on the call. All right. Let's see what else we have. William is saying, did I lose something? William is saying, Dean, they do know about it. We're just left to do all the hard work. Plus ones all around for that suggestion. So yeah, I'll. As I mentioned, yeah, definitely a small but hashtag power user grouping that we have here on the webinar definitely brings up some constructive feedback points, and I continue to be grateful for everybody who continues to join every week and continues to be a part of the development and sort of product direction that we are forming for Vul Player. So thanks for everybody who keeps joining. Dudley is saying, what about the new camera recording using Chrome app? How do I use the camera to record my video? How do I use the camera to record my video? There's really nothing to it. Basically, when you click on record a video, you just turn on the screen and the camera, which I don't want to necessarily do right now, but at that point you're going to have a small camera window here, and your screen is going to be recording. So that's all there is to it, really. If you ever used one of these plugins before, or for example, use Loom, is a pretty interesting tool. So this is one that we're currently using in our workflows. Maybe just without being logged in, use Loom. Nah, it looks like I have to log out. Sign out. There we go. So how this usually works is, hey, you want to record your screen and your camera, and then you can see your camera in the corner of your screen as you're recording it. So that's going to end up being on the part of the video. So hopefully that makes sense. There's really not much to it. You just click and your camera shows up and you continue recording your screen. Shade is asking, is the Chrome extension already out? If so, where can I get it to use? It's not out yet. I mentioned we're probably going to have it out in the next couple of weeks. And I don't know if we're going to post it on the Chrome Web Store initially, or maybe we'll just share it here in the webinar first, just to get some initial feedback. Not necessarily sure what the idea there is going to be with regards to sort of the map of the release of it for gathering initial feedback. We'll probably get it on the Facebook group. We'll probably get it to some power users, and we'll definitely get it here on the what's it called, the the webinar. I don't know where I got stuck there. I was looking at Dudley's question. Is there a video on using Loom? They have tutorials as well as YouTube. It's really simple. So you just click on it over here. I guess I logged out now. Let me just log back in really quickly. So you just click on it, and then it says, so you can see me here, and it says you can just use your screen and camera, or you can do only screen, and then you can just hit start recording, and from that point onward, you're just gonna record your screen. There's really nothing to it. Check their website. Yeah, Dudley. It couldn't be a simpler tool to use for recording your screen and camera at the same time. Alrighty. It's all the questions on the left side. Skipped some, in which case I apologize. You can just repost the question if I skip through anything, but I don't think I have. Maybe give it a couple of more minutes just to see if anybody has an additional question. What else do we have on the roadmap upcoming that we can talk about in the meantime? So let's see what else do we have in front of us. The infamous improvements to the play button and player controls, they're completed. It's just that I'm actually the one who's really hesitant about releasing them, because once we release this update, that's going to overtake all of the existing players and all of the existing play buttons and all of the existing looks of controls, and they don't exactly match one-to-one with the current look and appearance of the play button controls. And if we just released it, that's just going to overwrite all of the appearances, and we're going step by step in recreating the buttons so that we don't update millions of videos without users knowing on how that player button is going to look like. So we're just getting really close to approximating the supporting the old design in the new design as well. Screen recording and direct import to VuePlayer, as I mentioned, that's upcoming, and after that we're all aboard the funnel train. So the rework of funnels, as has been discussed a lot recently on these webinar calls, is the next item on the docket after we get all of this sorted out with the play button, which shouldn't take long. Dean is saying if it replaces it, do not update, due to we have a lot of videos on going back and redoing them will be pain. It doesn't replace it, it just sort of updates the style of it a little bit, so it's more consistent with what's inside of the edit application. But as I mentioned, I'm really insistent on not releasing it until there's literally zero differences between the current play button and the new play button. It's just gonna look the same pretty much, but gonna work a little bit better. Hence the update. Does that include the weird triangle issue? I mean, every time I load the page, triangle play button looks weird. It only shows normal once the video has been played. Yes, one of the things that's being impacted by the new play buttons is both the triangle as well as the shape of the play button, as well as some cool new positioning features, abilities to show the duration of the video on the play button, and there's a lot of enhancements packed into that. But as I said, releasing it means updating millions of players all at once, so we're pretty hesitant to do that without thorough confirmation that nothing drastic is going to change. William is saying, can we keep the play button from popping up at the end of the video? I believe you can do that now, if I'm not mistaken. So you can come over here. Let me see if I have a video. So if you want to stop the play button from appearing at the end of the video, you can, if I'm not mistaken, let me just close this out so it doesn't get in the way. You can come over here to beta features and hide the replay button, so it's not going to show up at the end. So I think that's the ability that's already included. Only it's available in the beta features currently. All right, Suzanne is saying, forgive me, I've had WooPlayer for some time and not used it yet. Is it good for creating lessons for clients or a link to a tutorial? Up until now, Suzanne, we really haven't been in the game of creating videos at all, just because we haven't had a tool through which you could record. And that's how I started this webinar, by saying we feel that it might be appropriate for us to get on that end of the workflow where you are creating videos. Thus far, there hasn't been a way to create videos. So with the upcoming release of this extension that we're working on currently, you are going to have the ability to sort of record lessons directly from your screen, as well as record your camera so you can talk to your students as well. So that's well and fine. However, full disclosure here is going to be that this is still going to have some limited editing ability. So if your lessons are going to be, hey, I have an hour-long lesson where I need to cut different parts of the video and insert different scenes and then insert graphics at specific points, and then et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, where your lessons require severe video editing, then we feel it's more appropriate for you to use some sort of a tool such as Camtasia or something like that, which would be Shade is asking, is there an integration with Camtasia coming? So that would be a more appropriate tool. With regards to or a link to a tutorial is probably the best utilization of WooPlayer. Once you have your lesson completed and you can import it or upload it to WooPlayer, at that point you can get a video player which you can customize, match your brand, and do a whole bunch of access restrictions on it, content protection, interactive elements which you can add to your lessons, questions which you can post to your students, et cetera, chapters which you can include in those lessons as markers on the video timeline. So a lot of different tools for sort of enhancing the interaction between the student and the content are available to be done inside of WooPlayer. And one, of course, is the ability to share those videos either by sending them a link which WooPlayer generates for you, or by embedding them somewhere on your site. Dudley is saying, I cannot find the WooPlayer on Zapier. I have an account. Good question, Dudley. So the Zapier integration actually is by invite only at this point. So you can use Zapier, or invite rather. Invite, request an invite. Copy link address, Dudley. Yep. Add Dudley. You can use this link to get an invite to the WooPlayer application on Zapier. What else do we have? Camtasia, integration with Camtasia coming soon. I don't know how to answer that. Something that we haven't thoroughly considered, but I'll take it as a point of feedback for consideration. One-click integration with Camtasia would be nice. It would be nice. It's just that it's a whole different world with integrated with the desktop application. But I'll take another point of feedback just so we have. Oops, why did I click on this? Just so we don't, I don't know if I can close out of this now. Oh, there we go. Just so we don't forget about that. Dudley is asking, does it make a difference? I have an enterprise. The training video do not match my screen. Training videos do not necessarily always match the current experience. WooPlayer application is constantly evolving, and we constantly provide updates and improvements both to the user experience of it as well as the feature set which is available or not available. So the concept of the training videos should follow suit pretty much, but sometimes they can not be updated for a year or so, depending on the training video. Alrighty, we are running out of time. So if anybody has a last question which they want to get in, we can get to it. If not, I want to thank everybody who joined this week. Special thanks to people who keep joining every week. I'll do my best to try and get more people to the webinar next week by some sort of an app notification or something like that, that they can participate more actively with regards to the product direction. So again, thanks everybody for joining this week. Hopefully we'll see you next week, and have a great remainder of this week. Bye.